The decision for Asuka to lose to Charlotte is no doubt controversial to a bunch of people around there, but it felt like a real moment. And if anyone was going to break the streak, Charlotte's definitely an excellent choice. I worried that the Fed was going to hand the streak to someone like Rousey.
Okay.
So I'm kind of happy with this.
Right. Yeah.
And then now Asuka matches won't be as predictable either because she was unbeatable. So every week she was winning. She wasn't going to lose.
This humanizes her a little.
Yeah. Ending aside, these women both put on one hell of a match. Their exchanges were excellent from the off. And I love the story of Asuka working Charlotte's arm even into the finish. Their in-ring psychology was great, and the match was expertly paced.
Yeah.
And being as it was the Queen versus the Empress, the King approved.
Hey!
I mean, kind of going back,
just real quick, I think we just acquired our first gimmick for the podcast. We'll have the King supply his. Let's do a match of the night, a stamp of approval from the King of SCW.
That was it. Yeah, the King approved.
Yeah.
I mean,
Boom.
Just real quick before we move on, you talking about her being humanized, it just really made me think of when Ric Flair was on his way out, and every match was, if you lose, you're done, you're retired. Just kind of still being really into Ric Flair. Like, you worried because he was getting his ass handed to him every time, and then he pulled it out. You kind of saying that. Now it's kind of like, okay, she's going to start the streak again. What's going on? It just kind of you saying her being humanized and stuff like that really reminded me of that. And it's a nice little call with the Flair and everything.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think that as far as pushing the story, I think humanizing Asuka was the biggest payoff they could have gone with out of that match. Because Asuka didn't need the belt. Asuka's fine. She's got the streak. She's got the only big undefeated streak out of all the women. She's got that under her belt. She's got that feather in her cap. She's good to go. I feel that the finish did what it was supposed to do. I was very happy with it. So, and then the match after that, we've got the 4-way between Jinder Mahal, Randy Orton, who was the current champion, Rusev, and then Bobby Roode. Now, all four, I love the entrances. The Jinder Mahal came out looking like he was a busboy for a high-end hotel. I love the
bag boy.
What busboy, bag boy, all that stuff.
Names.
Yeah. But I like the crushed velvet like tiny jacket that he came out and then had the turban. And then you've got Randy Orton. He kind of just did the standard Randy Orton thing, which I don't think we're ever going to get any flash or flare out of Randy Orton. He's just like, I'm here to bust heads and get out of here. Who wants a RKO? Mm-hmm. Rusev coming out with Aiden English. Aiden English, I thought was awesome, sporting the Woody Harrelson from Natural Born Killers look. I enjoyed the hell out of that. And then Rusev just kind of coming out and soaking it up. Man hates sleeves. He tore off the hoodie. He was ready to go. And then Rude, the standard glorious entrance. You can't go wrong with it. It still hasn't lost its luster. I was very happy there. Then going into the actual match itself, each guy got off their spots, and I was happy there. Rusev got his, even though, and spoiler alert, Rusev didn't get the win. Rusev still got his WrestleMania Rusev Day chant. I was happy about that. And Jinder coming out with the belt at the end, I did not see that coming.
No,
I wasn't. I was not expecting that at all.
So Jinder winning, I mean, this is their going back to India aspect as far as they took the world title off them because it didn't work. You guys mentioned earlier Ali winning possibly for it. This was their having an Indian champion before they go to India.
Yeah.
The match really was nothing more than okay though to me. I didn't really expect a lot from the match, so it didn't really get me a whole lot excited going into it. But Rusev did keep the crowd involved. Rude sadly felt like he was just like a window dressing there for the most part.
Yeah.
He needs to turn heel. His character is so much better suited for it right now. Orton hit his token RKO's and didn't really do much else.
Yeah.
And Jinder pinning Rusev got him a lot of heat, but I'm not really a fan of the decision because of where they're going with Rusev still. And I also find it crazy that Jinder Mahal's finish is like the most protected finisher in WWE right now. It's just I don't know. I'm not optimistic about his title reign.
Yeah.
At this point, even just because how well it went with the world title.
Yeah.
Recently.
Who did you pick in that match?
I had picked Rusev.
And who did you pick, Brandon?
I think I picked Rusev.
I picked Orton, and main reason was, Orton just beat Rude for the title 1 month ago. Right. And I figured if they were going to change the title, they wouldn't have had Orton win it just so that way he can lose it the next month in a match that Rude is also in. So that's why I was like, they got to keep it on Orton because otherwise have Rude beat Orton and then they can still have the lead into the four-way, which honestly, I don't even think Jinder deserved to be there. They just kind of threw him in, and the fact that he won, I mean, now it makes sense. But I don't know, I just think that with as over as Rusev Day is, it's good to have him. It's good to have him chasing the title, which is great. Because then you got that face versus heel we've talked about a couple times already. But when the time finally comes, when Rusev Day, which is every day, but when Rusev Day can finally win, then it's just going to be that much more excitement. So I understand why they didn't give it to Rusev, but I just was surprised Orton lost it. Orton was a transition champion. One thing though is they did kind of like Seth Rollins. That's his first U.S. title reign. So they just probably did that to put it in his resume.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, kind of piggybacking off what you guys said, it was what you would expect. None of those guys are super flashy guys. Orton's very, very straightforward. He hit what he needed to hit to get the crowd into it. Rude, I don't even think he did anything besides maybe hitting a glorious DDT and his spine buster.
Yeah.
Rusev had his hot moment where he was lighting people up. Jinder winning was a surprise. I don't remember who I had. I think I had Orton retaining.
I'm pretty sure that one was a wash for everybody.
Yeah. My worry is, going back to kind of your guys' point, that Rusev is going to end up like Ziggler. They're going to miss the window of when he's hot as hell to push him, and this whole Rusev Day, everything is just gonna fall flat, and no one's gonna care. Like I picked Orton to retain because he had just won it, and he's a wily veteran.
Yeah,
keep him on him for a minute, but I could have seen Rusev taking it just to cash in on that Rusev Day.
Yeah,
and it would have been perfect. But I'm afraid they're gonna miss that window, and it's gonna fall flat, and it'd have been all for naught.
Well, the thing that confused me too is the fact that Rusev wasn't even thrown into that match until a week or so ago.
Didn't he earn his way in or force his way in? I don't remember.
I want to say that it was just a triple threat for a while, and then Rusev ended up either earning his way in or just like to even the odds or whatever.
Yeah.
Got thrown in the last couple weeks leading into the build up to WrestleMania. So the thing that pops into my head is like, why? And the crowd was excited for him to be added to the match. So it was silly to me to kind of like have that last minute throw in, and all he got was just kind of like you get your second. That's it.
Yeah.
I felt that it's a shoo-in. Now he's gonna win the belt. To have Jinder walk out the champion, I was very surprised by that. Going from that into the next match, this was the match that I felt just a sixth sense that everybody for the most part was like, yeah, there's names involved, but everybody was kind of just, like, I want to get this over with. It was Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Steph and Triple H, and a lot of people, I felt anyway, just had this feeling like, oh, here we go. Just her Ronda's promos leading up to WrestleMania, they felt dry. They felt like they were working on the in-ring stuff, but they kind of lost their curriculum when it came to the promos and that sort of thing. So Triple H, Stephanie, and Kurt kind of had to carry the weight there. Once it came time for the match, though, Ronda delivered.
Mm-hmm.
I was very happy with the way. I was happy with the fact that they kept Ronda and Stephanie away from each other, except for Stephanie doing the couple hair tugs and messing with her that way. But once it finally came time for Kurt to make that tag, and Ronda was across the ring in like 0.2 seconds, it was on. It was gangbusters. It was amazing. The interaction between Triple H and Ronda, and seeing Triple H and Kurt in a ring against each other again. I was 14 years old again, man.
Yeah.
I was a kid, and that's the kind of stuff that you watch WrestleMania for.
Yeah.
Like that's when everybody knows that WrestleMania or that wrestling in general is a spectacle, and WrestleMania is that to 11.
Oh yeah,
and
sure.
I was very happy about it.
Yeah, I think Rousey, she did better than I expected, but also, she still looked like she had some work to do. Did better than Snooki, but
I don't know. Snooki was probably match of the night that year, though.
She actually did. Snooki did pretty good.
She did a handspring, bro.
Yeah, I know. But Rousey was, she did what she needed to do. And when you have Kurt and Triple H in there, two of the greatest ever, I shouldn't have. I don't know why I was worried, because Stephanie, she can work very well with pretty much any female too. She had some great matches with the Bellas, and then back in the day, even when she was a little more active, I think that she was able to perform in her character. She held her role very well. But with the teasing of the tags, like you said, that was just awesome. When the tag finally happened, place exploded. There were so many teases of Ronda grabbing the arm and Stephanie fighting it. I think they did an amazing job with that. And then Triple H and Kurt, like you said, seeing them together again was just so awesome. It did bring me back to the days of going to Hooters to watch pay-per-views and just, awesome times. So now a lot of people are just giving that match so much praise on the internet that I've noticed. A lot of the indie wrestlers and stuff like that. I don't think it was that great, but it was good. It was what it needed to be, in my opinion.
But I've seen on the internet where people actually kind of the start of the match, they really said that like it was start out slow, like Angle didn't look good. I, on the other hand, thought that the start of the match with the Angle and trips like that was very methodical, and it was what they've always done, and it was good, and it's what it needed to be. But then again, though, the match got crazy when Rousey got involved in the proceedings, and I thought she looked excellent. My wife popped when she did that clothesline roll through back up real quick. Like,
yeah,
Aaron popped crazy for that. I was like, and it's cool to me because like she's not a longtime fan, so when I see her pop on stuff, it's really cool. And then Rousey also showed when Stephanie took control that she was more than able to sell and make others look good. Yeah. Like earlier on, as the weeks leading up to it, I mean, like when she took the table on Raw last week, like her facial expressions were like, is she pooping? Like what's going on?
Like she's uncomfortable.
But the storytelling was spot on. The intergender action in the match provided some of the strongest points for it. I generally believed at one point that Rousey was going to make Triple H tap out. The crowd was lapping it all up as well. Rousey excelled when they got behind her, and Rousey felt like a legitimate big deal here. I'm really looking forward to see what they do with her in the ring, and hopefully it's not just that they worked so much on this match that it's not just a one-time showing of how well she did do. Hopefully it transcends into other opponents.
Yeah, I mean, like, people want to call her a part-timer. No, she's signed on. This is her life for the next 3, 4, 5 years, whatever she signed on to.
This was just the start.
Yeah. I really hope that this is almost it almost felt like a callback to China, where it's dudes and ladies throwing hands when they can. Like I really felt that overall this was the most entertaining match on the card. I had, plenty of reactions.